Welcome to Map Your Mind. Travel through the world with your brain. To speak of France is to summon echoes of cathedrals and cannon fire, of vineyards kissed by sun and revolutions drenched in blood, of kings and communes and creativity without end. This isn't just a country. It's a force of art, power, defiance, and dream. This is France, the dawn before the flag, long before baguettes and Bastille Day. France was wild and tribal. The land we now call France was once home to the Celts, known to the Romans as Gauls. They lived in forests and villages, fierce and independent until the empire came. In 58 BCE, Julius Caesar launched the Gallic Wars, conquering Gaul and folding it into Rome's vast dominion. Roman cities bloomed, Lyon, prissy modern Paris, was connected by aqueducts and paved roads. Latin blended with Celtic tongues, seeding the roots of the French language. But even Rome couldn't last forever. The Franks and the birth of a nation. As Rome crumbled, Germanic tribes surged in. Among them, the Franks, who gave France its name. Under Clovis I, the first great Frankish king, France was unified and baptized Christian in the year 496 CE, forging a legacy that would intertwine church and crown for centuries. By the 8th century, a new power arose. Charles Martel, the Hammer, halted Islamic expansion at the Battle of Tours in 732. Then came his grandson Charlemagne. Crowned Holy Roman Emperor in 800, he built a vast empire and a dream of united Christendom. His legacy echoed in every coronation that followed. The Age of Kings and Cathedrals. As the Middle Ages unfolded, France became a patchwork of duchies, castles, and ambition. The Capetian dynasty centralized royal power, and Paris emerged as a beacon of intellect and stone. The Notre Dame Cathedral rose from the Seine, with gargoyles watching over scholars and sinners alike. Universities bloomed, Gothic art soared, and in 1066, a French Duke William the Conqueror sailed across the Channel to take England's crown. But glory came with chaos. France would fight the 100 Years' War against England, a brutal clash from 1337 to 1453. Enter Joan of Arc, a teenage girl who claimed divine visions and led armies. She became a symbol of resistance, burned at the stake, but immortalized in flame. Renaissance. Power and palace walls. The Renaissance swept through France like a warm breeze from Italy. Art, science, and philosophy flourished under kings like Francis I, who invited Leonardo da Vinci to spend his final days in France. In the 17th century, Louis XIV, the Sun King, ruled with absolute power. He built the glittering Palace of Versailles, a marvel of gold, mirrors, and control. France was rich, but inequality simmered beneath the surface. And then came the spark: liberty, equality, revolution. In 1789, the world shook. The French Revolution erupted, fueled by famine, debt, and ideas of liberty. The Bastille was stormed. The king and queen were beheaded. France declared itself a republic and plunged into the reign of terror, where even revolutionaries faced the guillotine. But from the chaos rose a new emperor. Napoleon and the rise of empire. Napoleon Bonaparte, a military genius from Corsica, crowned himself emperor in 1804. He reformed law with the Napoleonic Code, inspired nationalism across Europe, and waged wars that redrew the continent. But his ambitions led him too far, especially into the snows of Russia. Defeated at Waterloo in 1815, he was exiled to die alone. But France? It was changed forever. Republics, wars, and resistance. The 19th and 20th centuries brought new republics, monarchs, and emperors. France swung between freedom and autocracy, but its identity deepened. In World War I, French trenches bled under the weight of modern warfare. In World War II, France fell to Nazi Germany but never surrendered its soul. The French resistance rose in the shadows. Charles de Gaulle freed France, and liberation came in 1944 with Allied boots and Parisian cheers. Post-war France rebuilt, reimagined, and reawakened. Modern France, spirit and soul, today. France is a mosaic. It is laissé the fierce separation of church and state. It is the Fifth Republic, led by presidents and passionate debate. It's Algerian cafes in Marseille, fashion shows in Paris, philosophy in the streets, and strikes in the metro. It's the Eiffel Tower, a rejected sketch turned national icon. It's Louvre treasures, Provence lavender fields, and the deep sorrow of colonial history in Africa and Southeast Asia. France is fiercely proud of its language, its liberty, and its art. It's where liberté, égalité, fraternité isn't just a motto. It's a revolution that never really ends. Fun fact: France is the most visited country in the world, drawing over 90 million tourists a year, yet most French people take pride in vacationing within their own country. France is not just where revolutions begin. It's where ideas are sculpted into monuments, where language dances, where even defiance feels like art. This is France, a story still being written, with elegance, with fire, with flair. Which part of France's story fascinated you the most? Let us know here on Map Your Mind.